Starting now. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Abramam Bhangarahitam Ajadam Vyonam Sada Anandatirthamatlam Bhajetāpatrayāpham Mithya Siddhanta Dudbhanta Vidvamshanam Sakshana Jayatitta Kiranya Bhasatam Nohadambare Pratikritta Kalpoyam Pratyattikita Kesari Vyasatitta Gurubhuyad Asmadishtat Siddhe Tapo Vidya Viraktyadi Sadnogakaranam Vajraja Gurun Vandehe Kripadashyan Pujya Raghavendraya Satyadharmaratayata Bhadatam Kalparukshaya Namatam Kamadhenave Durvadidhvantravi Vaishnavendi Varendave Shri Raghavendra Gurve Namotinde Alave आपादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणामाप्तिं स्मरेत् तेन विज्ञाः प्रश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति मनोरथाः हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. We are doing Bhagavad Gita, third adhyaya. So we are doing near the sloka 30, 31, 32, 33. All those we finished, and then we are come to 36, 37, 38. 38th sloka is what we did. Dhumena vriyate vahnir yatha dasho malena cha यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भस्तथा तेनेदमावृतम्. How different kind levels of layers come for different types of people. So basically, this is how it is being told. And as we talked about it, Arjuna asked, what is this? Why the jivas are not able to overcome? What is the thing that's dragging the jivas away from Paramatma? Even though everybody wants to know, at least the good jivas want to go towards Paramatma, but among good jivas also, there is something that pulls them away from it, from Paramatma, puts them on the wrong path. What is that? When Arjuna asks this, Krishna gives the answer, Kama Yesha Krodha Yesha Rajaguna. So, there, Kama is the one that's saying it. So Maha Ashanaha, Maha Papma, and this is the enemy, so it's all told. So, having told that, why further, this sloka is coming, like, so 38th sloka says the jnana of the jnanis are covered by the long-standing enemy, Kama. So it's already told, is Dushpura, analyzed like a fire. It is covered by the Kama, so which cannot be satisfied at all. Has been told that Kama, Dushpura Anala, analyzed fire, Kama is covered mm, by this unsatiable fire like Kama. The jivas are covered, jivas knowledge is covered. Because of that, it's doing whatever wrong path is going, is told. Then why again this sloka saying, like different layers are there? Because after having told in 38th sloka that one, why again this kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhavaha and mahashano mahapapma vidhi enam iha vairinam, when that is told again dhumena avrete means generally karma, how it prevents us even from acquiring the knowledge, paroksha jnana, aparoksha jnana, even the indirect knowledge. When somebody wants to do shastra abhyasa, karma overcomes with him, he cannot do shastra abhyasa, mind doesn't go in that way. So karma is preventing even to acquire paroksha jnana. It is preventing. That's what is told. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhava. In that sloka, what is being told is paroksha jnana is necessary to start, and then aparoksha jnana has to come. All this, for all this to accomplish, kama is an obstacle. So that's all is told. So how kama is an obstacle for paroksha jnana is told. And in 38th sloka, so 37 and 38 difference is this. 37 tells that kama is an obstacle, is an eternal enemy, problematic. But 38th sloka says, even for someone who has acquired a very strong paroksha jnana, is a very, very mm, good person. Paroksha jnana is so naturally good person. Paroksha jnana is acquired, did lot of shastra study, and still the kama is becoming an obstacle. So, among the ones who acquired Paroksha Jnana, how karma works on them is what is told in 38. So, 37 tells generally about the problem of karma, but 38 tells even for those who acquired Paroksha Jnana, how the karma is acting them. And three similes, comparisons are given. One is Dhuma and Vahini, fire and the smoke. Just as the smoke covers the fire, and just as the mala, impurities, cover the mirror, and just as the garbha kosha, that is the layer of the womb's, now whatever the skin layer, the womb's covering, that covering covers the garbhastha shishu, that embryo inside the womb, just as the womb layer covers the womb, like this. So three comparisons are given. This is a wonderful way of seeing that the three comparisons can be seen in two different ways. Where imagine this fire that is being covered by the smoke, the mirror that is covered by the mala is impurity, and ulba, the womb layer that covers the garbha or the womb covered by the womb layer. Here, whatever is covered, that can be compared to a jiva. So a jiva is like a fire. The fire, like jiva, is covered by the smoke. So this jiva has to overcome the effect of the smoke, and it has to shine forth by driving out the smoke. But for a one who is at a high level, Uttama Jiva, that is the best form of Jiva, the best category, highest category. The highest category Jivas are like the fire. Whatever smoke is like the Kama things are either the tools used by Kama or Kama itself. The Kama's tools or Kama itself, either of them. So they is covered by the smoke. This jiva has to overcome the effect of the smoke. So the jiva is compared to the fire. It has to overcome the effect of the smoke. And another way, the adarsha is the mirror. Mirror is covered by the mala. Mirror is like the jiva. It is covered by the mala, impurities, the effects of the kama. And the garbha is covered by the garbha kosha, the womb covered by the layer of the womb, the skin layer of the womb. Here, the womb or the embryo is like the jiva, it has to struggle a lot to come out of that. The effort is more. So, fire is Uttama jiva, the mirror is like a Madhyama jiva, and the womb or the kosha, the embryo is like the Adhama jiva. Comparison. Not that womb is Adhama jiva, is not that. Comparison, that's all. That means it's more and more difficult for these jivas to say that, that's all. So, this is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is Jiva is outside. The fire and the mirror and embryo, all these are compared to Paramatma himself. That means how a person, if he has to reach the fire covered by the smoke, just drive out the smoke, just maybe just blow some wind, the smoke goes away. So that means Uttama Jivas can reach Paramatma, the fire, with very little level. So the Jivas are actually outside. The fire is compared to Paramatma. So the fire, Paramatma, how it's Uttama Jiva, he has to overcome the effect of the smoke. Or so the fire, in showing the Paramatma, only the smoke is the only obstruction. So a very small obstruction. So here, to reach the fire, the Paramatma, the smoke is again the kama's layers or whatever. The smoke is obstructing. So how much it can show is the fire showing the fire is Paramatma, in seeing the Paramatma by overcoming the smoke is easier. But The fire shows Paramatma. The mirror shows Paramatma w- with more difficulty. So you have to wash out that impurity, mala has to be washed out. So a little more effort is involved in seeing the Paramatma. So the mirror is less efficient compared to the fire. The fire will show the Paramatma more easily. The mirror will show the Paramatma with more difficulty. And the Garbha Kosha, it is even more difficult. So here, the difficulty is on that they are showing the Paramatma. So what it is just as um, Paramatma becomes Agneya. Agneya means unreachable, unknowable for the jivas, and because the smoke is covering, Swayam, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent Paramatma, because of the Kama Prabhava, the smoke is like the Kama Prabhava, and he becomes Agneya for Jiva, and so the layer of smoke is in between the fire like Paramatma and the outside viewer, Jiva. The fire, you can see the fire even when the suppose the wood fire is there, smoke is covering, you can still see Paramatma. So the fire is more successful in showing Paramatma through the layer of smoke, and the impurities of the mirror are is less successful. You cannot see the reflection. When suppose the mirror is covered with all mud and everything, you cannot see the reflection. More effort is needed for the mirror to show your face, for your pratibimba to see you. So the mirror in showing the Paramatma is less effective compared to fire, but still is more effective compared to Garbhakosha. To reach the embryo or the Garbha, to reach the Garbha, you have to really open up the layer. You have to do something much more effort you have to put in to reach the embryo. So Jiva, inside this, you can see Jiva and how Jiva has to overcome these layers. In that comparison, the fire and the mirror and the Garbha are compared to Jiva in looking at the outlook. How you can see is how Jiva can overcome these layers. One way of seeing it. Another way of seeing it, how to reach Paramatma. Paramatma is like fire and the mirror, reflection in the mirror, and also the Garbha Koshas, the Garbhastha embryo. To reach the inside object, Jiva is outside. It has to make a lot more effort to overcome these layers, to succeed in erasing the layers. It has to do more effort. So two different outlooks, but still both the outlooks will convey how three kinds of jiva, Uttama jiva, Madhyama jiva, and Adhama jiva. The jiva that has to put lot of effort is Adhama jiva. The jiva has to put medium of effort is the middle jiva, and the jiva that has to put very little effort is the Uttama jiva. So this is how the effort needed is given through comparison by Sri Krishna to Arjuna. So very thought-provoking approach in for and for the jiva in the realization of Paramatma and the realization of himself also. Jiva Chadika, Paramat Chadika. No, I don't want to put too many technical terms. Basically, jiva seeing itself and jiva seeing Paramatma inside him. This needs a lot of effort to overcome the layers and to see itself and to see Paramatma. And Uttama Jivas have to do less effort compared to other two types. The medium Jivas have to do a lot of effort, but still more effort than Uttama Jivas, but less effort compared to Adhama Jivas. Adhama Jivas doesn't mean evil ones. Among the good Jivas, who have been overtaken by the kama a lot and they are on the wrong path, but they are inherently good ones, but they have taken up to the wrong path, but they have underlying desire is there, but they are already in too much advanced in the wrong path. For them to come out of that wrong path and to come into the good path, they have to do a lot of effort. That is what is being conveyed here. The amount of effort needed for the jivas in overcoming the effects of the kama is what has been discussed so far. And after saying that, certain things that we can look at it. For example, in all this, okay, oh, so the kama or the bad desire is controlled by whom? Who is the controller of that? Who is doing who? Paramatma is the all controller, we say. So Paramatma is just sitting aside and some evil forces are controlling karma. So Paramatma is really out of the picture. Is that the case? All these questions come to us. And also, another question that comes to our mind is how to proceed. Okay, we understand that there's a problem of the karma, but what do we have to do? How do we proceed? What, where do we start? This one is actually next sloka that we'll talk about is after 38th sloka. 39th sloka, I think this also we just saw this one also. Avrutam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina Kamarupena Kaunteya Dushpurena Nalena Cha. This also kind of touched on that. We'll see a little bit more about this. Here it says, Krishna is telling to Arjuna, Arjuna, see, Kama not only prevents Jiva from acquiring Tattva Jnana, even from Paroksha Jnana stage to reach Aparoksha Jnana, it becomes a layer. So it first becomes the kama becomes an obstruction in acquiring paroksha gnana itself. The paroksha gnana means indirect knowledge about Paramatma. That is through shastras, basically shastra abhyasa, studying the scriptures and all this. Whatever we are doing now, we are trying to acquire paroksha gnana. Aparoksha gnana, when we utilize the paroksha gnana to think about Paramatma and we do dhyana, the prakriyas, then we eventually acquire aparoksha jnana. That is our goal. Our ultimate goal is to acquire aparoksha jnana, direct knowledge, direct perception of the Lord. So this kama becomes a obstacle at different stages. For acquiring Shastra Jnana, it is an obstruction. Even after acquiring a lot of Shastra Jnana to acquire Aparoksha Jnana, it also is an obstruction. In between, here also. That's why it says why. Means it says Jnaninaha Nityavairina Etena by this kama Jnanam Avrutam. The knowledge is covered. Paroksha Jnana is covered. Aparoksha Jnana is also covered. Because Kama Rupena He Kaunteya Arjuna Dushpurena Analena cha. By this Anala, fire. Kama is compared to the fire, as we know, because never says enough. Alam na alam, anala na, not enough, not enough. Give any amount of kama, I want more, I want more, I want more. Give any amount of feed the fire even becomes stronger and oh, okay, the fire, you give a lot of things to fire, it will become calm down. No, the more you feed the fire, the more it becomes prajwalita. Uh, it grows even more. So same way, kama, the more you satisfy the kama, it grows even more. We cannot take it away, the effect, by feeding it. Feeding it makes it stronger only. So this is our experience also that. So whatever Shastra Janita Jnana is there, this is still becomes an obstacle and becomes an issue. So the Kama, Jnanasya, Brahmanasya Agnehe, Dhumo, Buddhe, Malam Yata. So these examples, when we gave, lot of manana can be done. We can think, what is the mala, buddhi, going in a wrong direction is the mala or impurity. So what is impurity? What is the smoke? What is the garbha covering? What it is? You can think about at your own levels to different depths depending upon your manana shakti. So I'm not going to cover all that because that is left to your own internal meditation. So let us not go too much into that because we just want to cover whatever are the basic concepts. And this kind of realization will keep us informed of the power of karma, which will again help us eventually how to fight this evil force. So the fighting of the evil force, how it is to be done, we if an enemy is to be, karma is like enemy, yes, nitya vairi. You have to subdue the enemy. What you have to do, how you have to do. So that procedure is talked about in the 40th sloka. That we'll cover on Wednesday class because that's another important concept that is will be taken up by the 40th sloka in the next class. Hare Srinivasa. Any questions are there? You can unmute and ask those questions. Hare Srinivasa.
Sastang Namaskar, Shikeshwara.
Yeah.
I have one question. So this shloka
Yeah.
that Bhumena vrete vahani yatha darsho malena cha.
Yeah.
So this is, you said it is only describing the Paroksha Jnani. Is that right?
It is describing the Paroksha Jnana, yes. Because Aparoksha Jnanis, they overcome
They've already.
the effects of the whatever karma. They know that even though Aparoksha Jnanis sometimes get affected, but that they easily come out of it. So this is describing only Paroksha Jnanis, yes.
So, and what about people who are not even Paroksha Jnani?
Yeah, for the people who are not even Paroksha Jnanis, they are like the bottommost Adhama Adhikaris. So they are not to be taken out, okay, you are not at all, you can't read. No, that's not. Who are not even Paroksha Jnanis, for them, they have to do like, if the embryo or the sishu, a baby has to come out of the womb, a delivery has to happen.
Hmm.
Through the delivery, the baby can come out. So for them, it is like a delivery effort. The amount of effort for who is not even a paroksha jnani
Hmm.
is like the lowermost category who have to put in lot of effort. So whoever are not at even paroksha jnanis have to put in more effort because they have the intention of acquiring the paroksha jnana. So they have to put lot of effort and like making the baby come out of the womb, a delivery has to happen. They have to get the Guru Upadesha. Guru Upadesha can be, crudely can be compared to the delivery. So through delivery, the baby comes out. Like that, for not even who are Paroksha Jnanis, for them, what do they have to do means they need to they need to make the delivery happen. The delivery is like a Guru Padesha. They have to make the Guru Padesha happen and they should have the desire to acquire the Paroksha Jnana. If there is a desire, if there is a Guru Padesha, for those who are not Paroksha Jnanis even, they can become Paroksha Jnanis.
So then this is more broadly describing Sattvic Jiva only.
Yes, yes, this is what talking about because who still have the desire to do something. Yes, this is talking about Sattvika Jivas who have the intention or desire to acquire, but they are being attacked by the Kamavairi.
Okay. And for Rajasic and Tamasic, this even doesn't even apply.
Yeah, for Rajsik and Tamasic, they don't even doesn't even apply because they don't even want to do any of this. So for them, this doesn't apply. Yes.
Okay. Dhanyavad. Many Sastra Namaskar.
Right. Srinivasa.
Keshav, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Yeah, namaskar.
One question. ಈಗ
Sure.
we've been talking about karma, right? That is
Yeah.
covering the. So, is there anything else apart from karma that blinds us?
Yeah, the effects of because karma. can lead to so many others. So we are talking about the primary enemy or the starting enemy. Yes, Kama has its own cousin brothers like Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya,
Okay.
Ahankara, Darpa. All these are there, which are like the supporting forces. But this is like a root enemy. Yes, there are the Kama, because it's like a big army. This Kama is like a one big powerful enemy who is not only by himself, but he has like a big huge army. So the all the army, yes, there are other forces which Kama brings along with it. But we are looking at the root enemy, that's all.
Thank you. Namaskara.
Namaskar. Yeah.
Namaskaram, Mama.
Sure. Yeah.
So, so this basically explains the Sattvic Jivas.
Yeah.
So, within the Sattvic Jivas,
Yeah.
is there any way to find out where exactly we fall, or whether we fall under the Rajasic or the Tamasic category?
Yeah, it is. See, the Rasic and Tamasic, we are not talking about here. Whether we are Sattvic or Rasic or Tamasic means if we have the desire to acquire Paroksha Jnana, that is an indicator that we are Sattvika Jivas. If the
Oh,
desire itself is not there, that means we may be a Rasik or Tamasik. So first we have to know whether we are Sattvik, Rasik or Tamasik. If we have the desire to acquire Paroksha Jnana, if we are open-minded, that is an indication that we are Sattvika Jiva. So among Sattvika Jiva, whether we are at Adhama or Madhyama or Uttama, that if we have to find out, the way we can find out is how much effort is needed for us to overcome the effects of karma. That's more like our own, we are our own judges. Someone else coming and telling is not needed. How much effort is needed for us to overcome that? It is our own judgment. So it is our own experience. So where in this, because these three are like a broad category, we may not be, we may be in between Adhama and Madhyama. It's possible. So we don't know where we are. We need not worry about that too much, because if we have this desire, the basic desire to overcome karma, we put in more and more and efforts. Initially, we may see or feel that a lot of effort is needed, but over a period of time, it is possible that we need less and less effort as we progress. So the progress that we make is that the effort that we need in overcoming the karma is less and less. When that happens, that means we are proceeding in right direction. But if it becomes worse and worse, that means we are going in the wrong direction. We have to watch out and come back. So it is left to us to find out how much effort is needed for us in overcoming the evil effects. That's totally, we are our own judges.
okay. Thank you, Mama. And
Sure.
in terms of acquiring the Paroksha Gnana,
Yeah.
so the people who actually acquire the Paroksha Gnana with the gurus,
Yeah.
studying the Sudha Grantha and all those stuff,
Yeah.
can we consider them to be the top level, and those who doesn't do
Not
that?
necessarily, not necessarily, because the Paroksha Jnana is measured not by a Sudha, Mangala or whatever, because I mean it is needed, it's definitely a tool. Now we are not undermining the effects of Sudha. But people study Sudha as a like kind of in a forceful way. But if they're not internalized, and after studying Sudha also, people can go in the wrong direction. So, like for example, somebody has finished a Sudha Mangala. After that, they did not find a livelihood. They say, I have to make a living. And they completely give up the Sudha, or whatever they learned. And if they become completely Laukik and they go in the wrong direction, all their Sudha knowledge is a waste. So, just because they did the Sudha, we cannot say they are Uttamadhikaris, because how much they are utilizing that for their progress is the key. So, the Sudha Mangala people, maybe a majority of them may be in the right track, but just doing Sudha Mangala itself is a criteria? Probably not, because that's why I said we are our own judges. Just making Sudha means they are Uttamadhikaris? Maybe, may not be. We don't know. That they themselves will know. The person, he says, okay, did the Sudha Mangala, but went in a Laukik, complete Laukik way. So he said, oh, I had enough of it. I don't want any more of it. That means it becomes a negative thing. So that is why we have to watch out where we are.
Okay. Thank you, Mama. So
Sure.
that means like there is a lot of hope for people who are generally doing their regular work and also aspiring to get some gnana. And I mean,
Definitely.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand like how to really
Yes.
scale
Yes.
that factor in terms of where to reach and how to reach.
Yes, the manana process is very important. So they may do a simple shastra, they may not do Nyaya Sudha or whatever. They may study like whatever we're doing, like the Gita, but internalize that, apply that to the extent that is possible to us in knowing about Paramatma, that is more important. So that is what is criteria for us.
Oh, thank you very much, Mama. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Yeah, we are closing this. We'll continue. Any questions are there in the next session? We'll continue Vishnu Sahasranam in the same channel. I'll just close it and come back in here. And Hare Srinivasa, Sri Krishna.
Namaskar, Guru. Hare Srinivas.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.